I'm actually kind of one of those oddballs. I was looking for a summer job and took a job at SeaWorld because I thought it'd be a fun place to work, and it was. I started out as a camp counselor here. So I was living here 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. When you add it all up, works out to about 9 months of my life physically staying here. The second summer, I decided that the education department was fun and everything, but there was a job posting for the aquariums department. So I applied for the part-time job and got it, and I've just worked my way up ever since. It's one of the best jobs I've ever had. Well, I'm the assistant curator of the fish department, so I have other responsibilities other than maintaining the aquariums. But for a general aquarist that we have that comes in, their day starts at 6 o'clock in the morning, and they come in and we each have our different areas. The aquariums department's responsible for 5 different areas within the park. And each aquarist has their own area. They start at 6, we go from 6 to 4:30, so we work a 10-hour day. And they start by observation of their animals, they look at their aquariums, and then they do the general maintenance and anything else that they have going on for that day. Some of us do special projects, there's diving that's involved. We have areas that every day they're in the water, so they're in 55-degree water sometimes in the wintertime. We have aquariums that are down into the 50s. We do ocean diving, so we can go out where we're actually out collecting. So there's a lot our aquarists actually do on a day-to-day basis. It's very rarely routine, which is a good thing. Many people at home have fish aquariums at home. I do. I have a couple of them. SeaWorld San Diego is actually fortunate enough that we're right on San Diego Mission Bay, or the Bay Area, and we actually use natural salt water for all the aquariums in the park, all the aquatic life in the park, except for our coral tank. And what we do is we pump in about 4 million gallons a day from the bay. It's processed through sand and gravel filtration, and then it's pumped back into wherever we need. So like if I'm using it in this aquarium that's behind me, it actually goes through a huge sand and gravel filter. It goes through a process of going through the sand and gravel where it's cleaned. It's already been cleaned once when it comes in. It goes through a heat exchanger, so it's chilled. The heat exchanger cools this water down. This water temp behind me is 52 degrees. So it actually goes through a lot of different processes, where at home most people like mix salt, put it in their tank, and that's about all that they're going to do with it. Here it's a huge, huge process. Each individual aquarium has different parameters. So like freshwater aquarium, for instance, San Diego City water is extremely hard. We have to run some of our water through RO systems to reduce the properties that are coming through and get our pH back down to a reasonable level that the fish like. So there's a lot of chemistry that's involved in maintaining each one of the aquariums. Rather it's a natural ocean setting, what you see behind me here, or freshwater where we're actually making an African rift tank. You know, so it just kind of depends on the individual aquarium and what the requirements are for the fish. Most of the stuff that we do out in the ocean for collecting is to replenish our aquarium stock. So it's actually not, it's scientific collector's permits, but it's not like gathering scientific data. We do that a little bit. We're actually currently doing it with our juvenile sea turtles that we just had hatched here. We have 81 juvenile sea turtles, and we're gathering information with that and sharing it with other institutions and U.S. Marine Fisheries and NOAA right now. Each aquarium has different animals, so obviously each animal like us eats different things. So on a, let's say, shark feed, which we did this morning, so we do a shark feed day. Our shark aquarist goes and sets up the food that they're going to feed out, which today was mackerel and blue runner. Mackerel is a little bit bigger than this, they're about 1.5 pounds a piece. We hand feed each one of those sharks that's in the main exhibit. Each shark has a number. There's 2 of us that feed, there's 1 recorder. And the feeders target feed each individual animal as it swims by. If the fish takes it, the shark takes it, that is. The shark eats the fish, the recorder writes that down, all that information gets entered into the computer system so we can keep track of who eats what. If we're taking care of the baby turtles, we're actually dicing up food for them. They have a special diet that they're eating, so their food is weighed out and measured and then is presented to them, and then you have to watch each individual unit that we have of turtles to make sure that they're eating. Cuttlefish, we just got new cuttlefish in recently. The cuttlefish are a combination of live food and then also target fed. And target fed is you put a piece of food onto a feeding stick and you offer it to that. You tease the fish a little bit, entice them to get into that hunt mode, and they come out and they grab the food from you and you record that. So each individual animal is going to be a little bit different. Our corals, we have some corals that actually need to be target fed. So they're going to make a gruel of brine and blood, and target feed our corals. So it just kind of depends on the individual animal on what type of feeding it actually needs to take place. Most of the time my office can be a 300,000 gallon shark tank. Not too many people, when they say they're going to work today, I'm going to hang around in the office, are actually sitting on the bottom of a 300,000 gallon shark tank with sharks swimming all around you. So by far, my office is actually pretty exciting to be in. We get to do things that most people only dream of doing. We dive with sharks, we dive with the big fish that we have here in the manatee exhibit. We get to go out and dive in the ocean. We go ocean collecting. I get paid to do what most people only dream of doing. So to me, by far, you'll never find a job that will surpass this. One of the things that I would suggest for anybody that wants to work with animals or get into research with animals, a really good place to go take a look is the AZA website, aza.org. And at the top of that webpage, there's a job section. Go there, take a look. You guys are in college, you're thinking about what path you may take. You want to work with animals. You might want to work with elephants, birds, sea life. It just depends on what you want to work at. Look on that job site and it'll list what facilities are hiring and what the requirements are that they're looking for. So if you want to be an elephant keeper, what you need to learn may not be what you're going to learn in an oceanography class. And what you want to learn from dealing with sharks may not be what you're learning in an agricultural class. So that's a really good place, and I recommend all my campers that we see every year to actually go to that site and take a look, because my department doesn't really require a degree even. So we have some people that have a wealth of information that have never even stepped foot into a college class. So each entity that you want to work with, each animal you want to work with, is going to have a different requirement. I actually have degrees in history. So what I went to school for actually wasn't even what I am doing currently. And what I was doing before this was working in the hospitals. I was a nurse's assistant in one of the operating rooms in the local hospital. And the whole bottom line is go to school, take all the classes you can take, do what you think is fun, and try it all. Do a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and that's pretty much what I did all the way through college. And I just happened to fall into a dream job that to me is the best job I've ever had and probably will ever have. But definitely stay in school, take all the classes you can. Oceanography is great. Most of the people that I know that did oceanography aren't necessarily in this aspect of it. They went on to do things with like NOAA, National Marine Fisheries. They're working on bigger projects. We have a lot of people that have marine bio degrees that work with me, and basically just find a passion and run with it. There's so many things that the ocean needs right now from us, that anything that you do and choose to do, whether it's research, which is outside of what SeaWorld does, or working in a zoological environment like this, it will all wind up benefiting, because there's things that we need to get a handle on, like pollution, ocean pollution, land pollution. We need to work on making aircraft better that it doesn't pollute the ocean, or our seacraft better so it doesn't pollute the ocean. So all that stuff ties into going to school and bettering yourself to get the degree that you need to help us all out.